Good evening to my gentle viewing audience. It's your man Shane Black, and I've come back. But I've come back with a question for the white people of America. Where has your pride gone? I'm not talking about the white pride. Well, actually, that was white power that came with swastikas. But I'm talking about white pride in general. Where you walk down the street and wouldn't have to feel that you need to apologize to every person of color that you meet. A white pride that would make you pay attention to what is being taught to your child in school and say, wait, yes, this is Black History Month. I'm not a racist. However, I am not going to have you teach my white child that he or she is less than a child of color due to the fact that my child was born white. Now, I'm not going to use any expletives or profane language in this video. Hell, I'm not even white. But that makes me mad. That makes me hella mad. Children are innocent, especially when you're talking about elementary school. White, black, whatever, they don't see color. Go back, hell, 10 years. Just 10. And it was about science and not feelings. And the science was that children don't see race. They just see another child. Children are not born racist. Racism is taught. And now, thanks to white people just becoming ashamed of the fact that they are white and allowing the Black Lives Matter organization. The slogan is fine, the organization is Marxist and socialist. Even though they scrubbed their webpage, don't force me to put some of that old stuff back up. But your white child is equal to a black child, an Indian child, a Japanese, Chinese, Mongolian child. It doesn't matter. Children are equal. And they should not be taught to look at another child's color first and then make the personal choice not to be racist. I'm going to take a quick detour. And the reason I said what I said is that what you might be or should be looking at, if I did this like I wanted to, is an image of anti-racist baby, I think it is. Just read what's on your screen. And in that book, which I suggest you don't buy, if you find out your school district purchased it, you be sure to pull your child out of class whenever they discuss that. If your teacher tries to discuss it while your child is there, you try to send your child out in the hallway. Especially, just all children. In that book for kindergartners teaches children that they are born racist. Take a moment, because I said no profane language, no expletives. I was a child. You were a child. Tell me, in elementary school, in kindergarten especially, did you notice the race of another child? I mean, you likely notice, oh, boy, girl, so gender, but the other person was just another boy or just another girl. You didn't think they are white, and so therefore I am better than them because I am black. Or I need to treat them differently because they are black. But that is what that anti-racist baby book teaches children. That is what they want to introduce into your school system. Again, back on track. Where is your white pride, white people? Hold on. My regular viewers know I need my vitamins. Tonight it's vitamins WHISKEY. A black person should not have to remind people, white people, about their pride. What was it, 9/11? Cowboy Up? I believe the individual who sparked that particular uprising was Caucasian. There you go, something to be proud about. Abraham Lincoln fought the Civil War, freed the slaves, something to be proud about. Yes, of course, there were underlying reasons and things of that nature, representation in Congress and all that. And financial considerations in that the North versus South, free labor versus the fact that you have to pay people to work in the North. George Washington, without whom is it no taxation without representation. Now we're right back to that again. Do we need another rebellion? In that you are being taxed as an individual, but ask yourself whether or not the individuals that you voted for are truly representing your interest in Congress. If they were white people, then I ask you, why are they allowing individuals to come into this country through illegal means, and I will allow you to put whatever terms together you want, knowing that these individuals would be vying for the same jobs that you are trying to get, and these individuals would be willing to work for less than you are. It's not a Democrat or Republican thing. Democrats want them for the votes, Republicans want them for the cheap labor. Why would your elected officials push for allowing Black Lives Matter curriculum to be taught in your local school district? That's right, your representation doesn't just start and end in Washington, D.C. or in the governor's mansion. School districts control a whole lot of money in your state, no matter what state you're in. And they set the educational standards for your children. They are basically indoctrination camps. Hold on, there's a bunch of sirens going on. Let me just pause this. Now, you have corporations, and not all of them are run by Caucasian individuals. But I believe that, I can't remember if it was Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos, but corporations giving millions of dollars to Black Lives Matter, the organization. And that organization is set to destroy the black nuclear family and to destroy white pride, so that white people feel like feces with legs, walking around. Well, I'm just really sorry, because it may not happen for you as an adult, but your child is being indoctrinated in school to think that he or she needs to be ashamed that they are white because of what their ancestors did back in the day. And yes, I've read some books, I've watched some films, documentaries, and as a black person, I am angered if I think about the things that your ancestors did to mine. But I'm not inclined to beat the hell out of you for what they did. You straighten things out. You move forward. I'm not looking for reparations. I actually don't even want the stimulus money. I work for the government. I haven't been out of work since COVID began. But I still get the checks from the government. But I don't need your reparations. White people, listen closely. I need you to treat me and mine as you treat you and yours. That's all. For I will tell you this as I wrap this up. White privilege does exist. Man, there go the sirens again. White privilege does exist, but not in the way they're trying to indoctrinate you to believe. White privilege exists as this. An example. A stretch of highway. Speed limit's 50 miles per hour. You are going 100. And law enforcement officer 13 stops you, pulls you over, treats you respectfully, gets the license and registration, and tells you, well, look, you need to slow it down. It's 50 miles per hour, so here's your papers back. Please don't do that again. 5 minutes later, and I say, you're Caucasian though. Keep that in mind. 5 minutes later, a person of color comes down the same stretch of highway, also doing 100 miles per hour. And Officer 13 pulls that person over, uses a gruff, authoritative tone, tells them license and registration, gets that information, runs it through, the person's clear. Get out of the car. Gets him out of the car. Get on the ground. Spread your hands. Spread your hands away from your side. Pats them down. Searches them. Humiliates them. Then when they get up, well, that's twice the speed limit. We're going to impound your car. Here's your ticket. And good luck finding a way home. That white people is white privilege. White privilege is not you as an individual being racist. Not you as an individual. Well, no, I almost messed up. It's not you as an individual being racist. It's you profiting from the fact that you are Caucasian / white. And because you are white, you are treated better than people of color. And that analogy should be the clearest example. For you see, it would be law enforcement officer 13 who was racist, whether consciously or subconsciously. Just like the police officers in New York that pepper sprayed a 9-year-old black child. If that child were white, think about it, white people, for real. If that was a 9-year-old white child, would that child have been pepper sprayed? And all studies point to no. All studies point to the fact that black children are treated is something beyond their age more so than Caucasian children. They're treated closer towards how one would treat an adult than Caucasian children. So you individually may not act that way, but it is those in your number who do it. So yes, driving down that street, you as a white adult benefit from white privilege. As a child, the way you were treated by law enforcement and others, that is also white privilege. And you cannot solve the problem by taking all white people and telling them they should be ashamed to be white. Time to wrap this up. If they continue, and I'm talking about your fellow white people who are in power, whether it's the president, because Donald Trump, he wouldn't have put up with this, and he didn't. Whether it is Joe Biden, Caucasian members of Congress, your governor, your mayor, or the people on your school board. People in power who can afford to send their children to private schools where they will not be indoctrinated into that whole thought process where white is bad and we need to be ashamed to be white and prop up people of color. That is a recipe for disaster. Go back and look at affirmative action. Affirmative action, you could have a white person, a black person, well, just say white, black, whatever. White person of color. A white person, a black person, basically same experience, same education, and at that point in time, because of affirmative action, the black person would get the job. Eventually, white people got fed up with it, and look at it, search it online, don't use Google. Nope, don't. They censor people. Look it up online, and you will see that black individuals were physically harmed because white individuals, not all, but certain white individuals, got pissed off and fed up with you giving my job to a person of color, even though we were equal, or I, as a white person, was even more qualified than the black person, but you gave it to the black person. Then you had resentment because eventually companies began to realize, wait, if I give it to a black man, I'm only checking off one box for the minorities, and that's black. But if I give it to a black woman, I get to check off two. The seeds of discontent were sown then between not just black men and white men, but black men and black women. As a black woman then became the breadwinner, and as a black man, I become upset because I'm sitting at the house, can't get a job, and my woman's bringing in the money, bringing in that bacon. And that also helped destroy the black family. So look, white people, I'm asking you. I'm not begging you, I'm asking you. Because it's for the sake of your children, and you should love your children. You should want your children to be successful. But I have an underlying motive, because if you continue down this path, and I'm talking about the majority of white people out there, if you continue down this path and allow this indoctrination of your children, then you have white people who remember, who know that they didn't do anything wrong, that they have reasons to be proud, just like there are reasons for black people to be proud, Hispanic people to be proud, Chinese, Japanese, Mongolian people to be proud. That white people should be proud too, and they'll get pissed off and they'll take their anger out on black people because of what, for the most part, could really just almost be called extortion by Black Lives Matter. So it's not that they're going to go after the Mongolians or the Japanese or the Indian people. They will come after the black people. And I